Have you ever found yourself saying, "Oh, my husband's babysitting," and then everybody just like is in an uproar of laughter? The thing is, it may sound like a flippant comment, but actually, I want to look deeply into what's really going on here and how it affects both genders, right? Ask yourself this: where did this notion actually come from? That husbands babysit, wives raise the children. And we don't even give it a second thought, right? It just goes to show how deeply ingrained the cultural and societal expectations are on these gender roles, right? It's like when a woman becomes a mom, she is almost stripped of the desire or the permission to aspire to and want more of anything that's beyond parenthood or motherhood or wifehood, right? Whereas the fathers are okay, like in terms of they have their career progression going, they're pursuing their passions and their hobbies or whatever, and they're building this social life and network around them because they're seen as the breadwinners and they're maintaining the family, and therefore they must be allowed the freedom to be able to do all of these things, right? And the thing is that this dynamic is so automated, it's so automatic, it just comes in and there is no conversation around it. And this is where the problem is, that it's like these roles are assumed, they're imposed, and the element of choice is taken away. Choice just doesn't exist, and that goes for both genders. There are some men who are just such amazing homemakers, they're so nurturing. But for them to assume that role fully would be seen as something less than. They're not really being a man, right? Whereas you have women who would thrive at their career progression. They would love to be the breadwinner, but there would be a lot of shame around them pursuing something that's beyond mothering. And here's where the mom guilt comes in. It's like, how can you want more than to raise your kids, right? And so, whereas the choice disappears for both, the challenge is that for women, their roles disempowers them from a possible life of independence and choice altogether in this world, right? The careers are not progressing and they do not have access to finances. And that's a real issue because it affects their confidence, it affects their self-worth. They don't know if they have any value anymore later on when they're ready to get back, for example, into work and earning and all the rest of it, right? Then the truth is that it feels too late. It feels too late. It feels like that boat has sailed. It is just too overwhelming to start again. And it's just too difficult to break free. So a lot of women will then convince themselves that, hey, you know what? I choose it. I wanted this. I wanted to prioritize my family or my kids, or I want to be at home. And that's fine. And the question is that, was it a choice or were you conditioned? So if you find yourself justifying your role of being a homemaker, if you find yourself perhaps resenting the more empowered, independent woman, or if you find yourself feeling this void that just doesn't seem to be satisfied, then chances are that it's the conditioning that's landed here, not a choice. If it was a choice, then there would have been conversations either at the point of conception or having your child, or even after you're on the journey of parenting, where you have a conversation with your partner that says, right, how can we wholesomely raise our child whilst keeping our individuality, where we both get to pursue our ambitions and goals and desires and feel that individuality whilst parenting. And if that conversation was never had, then chances are it was never a choice, right? And here's the thing: if this holds true for you, I just want you to know that it's not too late. It is not too late. You can still have a life that is aligned with you, because here's the only and most important, if it's the only thing, that's the only important thing, is where do you go from here? What is your next step going to be? How are you going to move forward from this point on? Because everything else can be worked on, right? Here's the thing: if you know a mother who needs to hear this today, please do share it with them.